Bienvenidos, amigas y amigos, a otro programa de RDA Show, auspiciado por CTU Security, CTU Federal Academy y gracias a Pangea FM y sus plataformas digitales. Hoy estaremos hablando un poquitico de lo que es la segunda enmienda y dedicaremos un poco a lo que es las armas marca Glock. Y también un poco de entrenamiento. Conmigo, como siempre, Damian Yates. Hi, Damian.
Hey, how you doing today, Tony?
Very good. Thank you. And also we have Marcos Diaz.
Hi, everyone. How you doing?
Espero que el programa de hoy sea interesante para ustedes. Les pedimos que entren y se registren en nuestra plataforma de YouTube y se suscriban para que reciban los programas que vamos a estar sacando. Cuando se suscriben van a entrar en una rifa para ganar una clase de porte de armas gratis aquí en los Estados Unidos, específicamente en el estado de la Florida. Empezamos un poco. Damian, I was telling that if they subscribe to YouTube channel, they're going to participate in a raffle for a concealed weapon class and a certificate. So
Yes.
we encourage people to sign up with us and promote our comments. También queremos que hagan sus comentarios con nosotros. Y comenzamos el programa. La razón por la cual quiero hablar un poco de la segunda enmienda. There are two reasons why I wanted to talk about the Second Amendment today. The first one is due to the pandemic, the pandemic that we are facing right now in the US, there are so many states and people that they are feeling that their rights are being cut. They are, forcing to be at home, and that's part of the first of the Constitution, that the freedom, we are losing a little bit of the freedom. But the freedom comes with a really hard, when on the Constitution, the founder fathers include on the amendments, the Second Amendment, they believe that there's a well-armed militia can also keep the government running and keep the democracies, avoiding the regimes to run the nation. So I'm gonna read a little bit about the Second Amendment. That is a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. En otras palabras, que una milicia regulada, bien armada, para la seguridad del Estado libre y el derecho de la gente a portar armas no puede ser infringida. Por supuesto, this amendment is not only the Second Amendment, also is linked to the Free Amendment, the second, third, fourth, fifth, and it's important. And the reason why I use coming this into the discussion is because I've been seeing the last week something that happened in my country when two Americans joined forces with a few group of people. They just trying to help. We don't know. We know that the United States have nothing to do with that, but maybe because they believe in freedom and they see that Venezuela is a regime ruled by criminals, then I believe that they try to participate and help the Venezuelan people to get that freedom back and get the democracy back to the country. But the reason why is because also when you're talking about bear arms and well-trained militia and regulated militia, It means the citizens. The citizens are the ones that have to keep the democracies open on the countries, and it's impossible to do that. Example, Venezuela in this case, but I can say many other countries, but the worst is Venezuela and Cuba. Why? Because the only ones that carry guns are the government and the criminals. Criminals are always going to be, uh, they're always going to find the way to get arms, no matter what. Doing contraband, smuggling arms, they're always going to get that because they're going to pay high prices for that. And the government also going to have the guns. If you see the videos about Venezuela, how the people is being captive in on their houses, they can do nothing. They can do nothing. They have no free to go. And if they try to do something, the government can use get them into the system, accuse them of do whatever they wanted to accuse them, and there's no way that they can defend. I've seen videos where the National Guard in Venezuela is getting into the apartments, armed, robbing the people, destroying property. Imagine that we let that thing happen here. It's impossible for a citizen unarmed and a society unarmed to fight against um, a regime. Happens in Cuba, once again happens in Venezuela. So right now, that state is a criminal state ruling the country.
Right.
They are being they are being looked. The United States already have a capture order for the president or the old president of Venezuela, which is Nicolas Maduro, and he's a criminal. He's a drug dealer. There is a cartel ruling the country, and citizens can do nothing. So that's the importance, and that's what I bring the Second Amendment. I wanted to start the discussion in this program. So, Damian, I just want to ask you, what do you think that we can do without being armed and ready to any government?
Against any government?
Against a regime. Let's say that tomorrow, it's not going to happen here because we know our rights. But imagine that you're being in Venezuela, you're being a Venezuelan person, and the National Guard, the army, or any police is allowed to rob you, destroy your property, and also steal your money. Is there any way that you can be, like, can you imagine that? Because I know that many Americans, they can see that picture. It's really hard.
And it's not too many ways to put that one because from how you just explained it, you're either with the regime or you're without the regime. So you either going to war with the regime or you're going to war against it. Because anything else in between are going to be sheep to who's ever at war. Because I can guarantee you the government regime will have guns and firearms, and the ones going to war against the regime will have guns and firearms. And if you're anywhere in between, you're going to be forced to pick a side, especially in a country like that.
And so the first thing that the regime does is try to take the guns out of your hands so they can control all the guns with the excuse that they're gonna be protecting you as a citizen. But everybody knows that the time that they take in order to protect you against the criminals is too long, first of all. Second one is everybody have to wait for the government to get protection. Then the government gonna get the arms, the guns. They are eventually is gonna be abusing of power. and there's no way that you can go back.
Oh, of course they're gonna abuse the power. Of course, there's no other. Our government abuses power, but we have so much in place that it doesn't get out of control like these other countries. But I mean, in these other countries, the governments are corrupt. So I mean, once they take your weapons and take everything and say, "Oh, we're going to take care of you," no, we just made you need us, and now we can control you. That's what it sounds like, and part of that's what part of the Second Amendment was about, against all threats, foreign or domestic. So if our government tried to do that, that's what the Second Amendment is for, is American citizens can defend themselves by bearing arms against the domestic threat, which would be our government trying to do something of that manner.
All right. And Marcus, can you imagine that? Just gonna ask you the same thing. You're also probably know a little bit about what's going on over there.
Sorry, I was coming back here.
Okay.
You know, with civilians right now here with about 4 and a little bit more million guns just sold, I think that's the only thing that set us apart. In other countries, they have been taking the guns from the civilians. They were trying to buy them back or saying like you have to turn them in, like that happened in Nicaragua, that the government take all the guns from all civilians, and now they did what they could do because civilians that didn't have how to defend themselves. And we've been seeing that over and over again everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I see that it's not coming, at least it's not coming soon, at least I hope so. You know, this whole thing is divided in two sides, the one that believe in guns and the ones that believe guns are bad and only police or military people should use them. Even though all that's happening, no way is coming soon.
Okay. So basically, that's one of the main, the most important reason why we defend the Second Amendment, to avoid that in the future something like that happen. I remember talking, I go every year to the IACP, which is the International Chief of Police Convention. Years ago, I was talking to some of the guys, some of the chief police. I tell them, can you believe that in Venezuela the jail system is controlled by the brands or the bad guys, the criminals? The, the, the police and the jails are there just to protect the criminals inside the jails. And say, oh, okay, how can you say that? Well, that was, the video is in 2010. I'm talking about 10 years ago. If you guys go and look in YouTube for Venezuelan Paradise, you will see what was going happening in Venezuela 10 years ago. Imagine 10 years later with the same regime, how things are right now. So, saying that, I, I want you to value more our Constitution, our rights, and defend it at any cost. Also, long time ago, we were to New Orleans, New Orleans, to vote because we were forced to go to vote from Miami all the way to New Orleans because they like to close the consulate here in the United States, and then that make us forced to be traveling almost 20,000 people to vote in another state. I don't think that any American is gonna let that happen. So keep our rights. Let's um, let's protect the Constitution. And if you have any question, you're free to ask. Uh, I wanted to say this so we can compare a free state against a regime and compare why we're still free and why is the regime. You can control your guns, you can control the people don't have access to that. Of course, not only that, it's a whole bunch of other laws involved to protect the citizens with guns and things like that. But I just want to bring this because it is very important. Also, um, I wanted to thanks everybody about who's protecting the rights. Go ahead, you're gonna say something.
Actually, I wasn't because this is a very crazy situation. I wouldn't know what to do. Like I say, you have to pick a side, and it'd be depending on how you wanted to live.
Right?
Like
But
I said,
I don't think that anybody wanted to leave ruling by somebody and abusing. Uh,
exactly.
so that's why I just
But
bring.
I mean, you got to realize it. It's kind of the same. I mean, here we have politicians and things like that. They pick to be politicians and live certain type of ways. So there would be okay. Am I going to be on the side with the people trying to control everybody, or am I going to be on the side that doesn't want to be controlled? Because if you're anywhere in between, that's not a good spot to be in. That's a rock, you know, rock in a hard place.
Okay, well, saying that, Marco, do you have any other comment about the Second Amendment, Constitution, and your rights? So that way we can pass to the other topic that say that we're gonna be talking about Glock guns and training.
I would say I will still keep backing up my Second Amendment. Can't take anything out from me or by law or something, because as everybody says, if they make a law, I won't be a law-abiding citizen. And I just wanted to say it's not gonna be easy if they try to do it, but we're gonna still back up, and we are not just alone. It's not like one, two people. That's why they haven't been able to do it. I understanding. I've seen videos of people saying, "A police, why do you need it?" But that people doesn't know a criminal will follow the law, or criminal will knock your door or leave you a note saying, "Hey, tomorrow I'm coming here at this time, so you can be calling the police now." Criminal just go in there and do whatever they want to do, and even before police receive a call or a radio dispatch, they will be out of there. I don't see that coming.
Right. Well, that is true. And once again, when you're talking about the Second Amendment, for real, it doesn't say anything about to defend yourselves, which is people claim to, but it's part of the deal too. So that way we can control, we can defend our family, defend our property. Um, but the main thing that the founder fathers uh, put that Second Amendment was because they see the necessity to regulate and have a balance between government and people so we can keep democracy and free state and the Republican rally.
Let me say this, Tony. This is freaking America, man. And here we talked about last show. I think between the months of March and April, it might have been about 4 to 5 million new guns sold. And I'm saying that because right here in where we're from in Miami, there were roughly maybe 40 to 50,000 police officers. But in Miami, there are 2 million residents.
Yeah.
So imagine if all residents had guns and you got a police force trying to take over corruptly, but you got 2 million residents with guns. There's no way that police force would be able to enforce things that Americans don't want to enforce. And that's what the Second Amendment was about. And there are more civilians with guns than there are law enforcement.
All right. Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. Let me say something else about the Second Amendment because now we're talking about the Second Amendment in a big way. We have not only to protect about the government, because when people against it, they said, "Oh, you don't need this many rounds to go hunting." Second Amendment is not for hunting. Or you have people saying, "Oh, well, at that time a musket take a minute to reload." But if you see historically, they were talking about at that time a weapon capable to fire 15 rounds without needing to reload. And you can find that, and you can find literaturally about literature about that written down, signed. A person wanted to sell the gun to the government, and the government thought it was too expensive, and that's why they didn't get it. But it's not that the founding fathers didn't know about a gun capable to fire many rounds before reloading it.
Right.
Right.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, like it's too many civilians in America with guns. And we're not talking about just a gun. We got a lot of civilians that own multiple guns.
Yes,
So
sir.
if it came down to it, you got one person that can give out 5 guns and probably still have 5 guns for himself. And that's something that's the main reason. Who knows who in government might have tried to take over and in the form of tyranny. But knowing what we know and what knowing what they know rather, and that we got a lot of people here with guns. They don't just do that, and that's probably a big reason why you have a lot of other governments that won't come into this country because of the simple fact they
Mm.
say it's a lot of guns in America. It's crazy over there.
Yeah, but let me tell you something else, and it's gonna be funny. Here in America, the death of by handguns is around 12,000, 14,000 people a year in a universe of around 330, 350 million people. 300, 350 million people, 12,000 deaths a year. In Venezuela, not allowed to have guns. And the amount of people that die because guns, you're talking about around 30,000.
Wow.
So that's what happened when the criminals have the guns and the citizen doesn't have any. They have a free pass to kill. They have a free pass to steal. They have a free pass to abuse. And then that's the main reason I believe in the self-protection, training, and the Second Amendment that allowed us to bear arms.
And that. To be honest, that's a big reason why. If you had lived on the street, on your street that you live on,
Hmm.
if everybody had a gun and everybody had a sign in their yard saying gun owner, gun owner, gun owner, and you went down your entire block with the signs of gun owners, there would not be any criminal come on that street and try to do anything. Why? Because he knows on this street, I take a chance of not making it off by anybody on the street.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to a neighborhood where they figure there are nobody that have guns, or maybe 1 out of 20, they like their odds.
Right.
If you look, I even put that on my cards.
Exactly.
And if you would see on the bottom, it says criminals prefer unarmed victims. If you can't see it, that's what it says right here. Criminals prefer unarmed victims, which means they don't want to run up on somebody that's armed that has a chance of foiling their plan or stopping what they had planned to take. They want it to be easy and as sweet as possible.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're gonna
And
they want the easy prey.
and somebody armed is not going to make that easy.
Right. It's gonna
So
be mhm.
if we unarm ourselves in America, I can guarantee you there will be some type of takeover.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with Marco, and I believe that I hope that our audience also um, think a little bit about it. I encourage them to see some videos about what's going on in those countries and value a little bit more our rights and protect them and join the movement. I also want to talk about Gloks, Damien and Marco. Reason why I want to talk about Gloks is because many people, brand new owners, and law enforcement use that specific handgun. I have a replica here with me. It's a training gun. This is the one that we use at the CTU Federal Academy. The rules, like I was saying, get the finger out of the trigger, don't point to anything that you're not allowed to destroy, and treat the gun as it's always loaded. I wanted to show you that it's unloaded, it's open, no magazine. So that's the way that we have to treat it. This is a CO2 handgun. It's a Glock replica. You can see. And in this case, I just put a device that is made for training. This is going to be available in 1 week in our training place, CTU, along with the virtual screen, with the airsoft training and the live firearm training that we do mostly in Homestead and the Triglades range near to 8th Street. So, Damien, tell me what is your favorite, why is your favorite Glock?
Any Glock, any
Hey,
full size Glock.
so you are a Glock fan.
Ah, I'm not gonna say I'm a Glock fan, but I like Glocks.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm skeptical. I would take any gun. I like guns, period. But I carry Glocks. I mean, they're simple, they're easy, and they're reliable for me.
For you. So I see that we have different models. People don't know. They ask you for the 1917 are the most common Glocks. Now it's very popular, the 45.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about 9 millimeters, right?
Yeah, those are all 9mm caliber guns. Yes, they are.
So which else is a 9 millimeters round in a Glock family?
Glock. I mean, you have with a lot of the additions now. I mean, you have the 43, the 43X, the 48. You have the 26.
In
You have
a for our audience. So I'm gonna tell them about the ones that I know that are 9 millimeters are the Glock 17, the
correct
19, 26, and the 34, I believe, and
the
the 30.
34. Yes, the 43 is also a 9mm, which is a I guess they call them micro compacts now because guns were full size compact and subcompact.
Okay.
That was the classifications as far as Glock goes. So you had the 17, which is your full size. That is the gun that is used by law enforcement, military around the world. That is the full size Glock 17 in the magazine plus one, which will give you 18 rounds. Then you have the 19, which is the compact, which would carry 15 rounds. Both are 9mm, and it will carry 15 rounds, but it is a little smaller than your 17. So they call. So that would be compact. So then you would have subcompact. Subcompact would be the Glock 26, which holds 11 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. No, don't quote me on that one. But it is a subcompact. And you know what? It's not. I think it's 7. And that was the smallest model. But now Glock has come out with the 45, which is a 19 slide with a 17 frame, with a 17 handle, where you have the 19 size slide with a handle that's the same size as the 17, which takes a 17 round magazine. You have the 19X, which was the military, the gun Glock made for the military to try to get a military contract, which is the same as the 45 with a 19 slide and a 17 handle and frame size. Then you have the single stack 9mm, which were the 48. Is a single stack Glock 9mm, which is something Glock just came out with recently. I'm in 2019. So then you have the 43, which is the micro compact, I guess they call them now. And you have the 43X. So Glock has a long line of 9mm firearms.
The beauty of most of the Glocks is that the design is very similar. Let's say this is a replica of the 19, as you can see, but this is a replica of the 17. The difference is that just one is a little bit longer than the other one, but the frame and the handle, the grip, triggers, mechanism are basically the same. So once you own a Glock, doesn't matter what other Glock you take, you're gonna have the similar feeling, similar grip, depending on the generation, that they change a little bit on the grip and a few things. But that's the beauty of the Glock. We're still on time, right? Yes.
Tony,
So,
antes de que continuar, estaban pidiendo un resumen en español en el Facebook.
oh,
Go ahead.
Ok, sí, vamos a hacer un resumen un poco en español acerca de lo que hablamos de la segunda enmienda, porque es importante. La segunda enmienda lo que dice es que una milicia bien regulada puede mantener, vamos a leerlo literalmente para que sepan de qué se trata y por qué nosotros en este programa quisimos traerlo a coalición, debido a que, por ejemplo, en países como Cuba, Venezuela, al no tener el derecho de portar armas, pues dependen y siempre están siendo abusados por los militares, la policía y los criminales. La ciudadanía no tiene cómo protegerse. Y el segundo amendment es bien pequeño, bien regulada, comienza a ser necesaria para la seguridad del Estado libre. El derecho de la gente a mantener y portar armas no debe ser infringido. Eso es todo lo que dice el segundo amendment, pero cuando lo pasamos a regímenes como Cuba y Venezuela, nos damos cuenta que han caído en un régimen que no les da libertad porque no tuvieron la manera de cómo protegerse. Hace una semana vimos unos eventos que ocurrieron en Venezuela, un grupo de personas entraron que no sabemos si es realmente un montaje del gobierno o no, porque por lo mismo que no hay libertad de expresión, no hay libertad de prensa, ahí no está ni siquiera la primera enmienda, que es la libertad de expresión, no se cumplen los derechos humanos debido a que quienes controlan las armas controlan la población. Y eso ocurre en Cuba y Venezuela. Y por eso creemos que en la segunda enmienda es el derecho a tener armas, pero tiene que ir muy ligado a las leyes que protejan al ciudadano que la porta. Porque obviamente una vez que tú utilices un arma, sea para defensa propia, sea para resguardar el gobierno, que comienza con todo lo que se pueda, nosotros tenemos que estar protegidos por las leyes y obviamente por el jurado que cumpla con esas leyes y la interprete de manera correcta, para que si tú lo utilizaste, pues estés protegido por la ley y tú sepas cuándo la vas a usar. Lo que otros estuvimos hablando acerca de las armas, queremos hablar de la Glock, siempre que el dedo afuera, no apuntemos a lo que no tenemos que apuntar, consideremos que todas las armas están cargadas. En este caso, está en una réplica, como pueden ver está vacía, ¿ok? No está cargada, aunque sea de entrenamiento, no podemos pensar ni tratarla diferente a un arma de verdad. Estábamos hablando de por qué es tan popular la Glock. Bueno, sencillamente porque en sus dos modelos, sea la 17 o la 19, si se dan cuenta, son muy similares. El guardatillo y pues cualquier arma que tú tomes se va a sentir muy similar, no importa el calibre, el grip va a ser similar, no importa el tamaño, va a ser muy similar y por esa razón creo que ha sido muy popular, es muy fácil de mantener, es muy versátil y es un arma que los policías, los civiles y las compañías de seguridad utilizan mucho. ¿Por qué? Porque también sus magazines, estas como pueden ver, es de entrenamiento también, pues en una 17 entran perfectamente, pero en una 19, aún siendo réplicas, también entra, queda un poquitico más sobresalida, pero pueden usar cualquiera de los magazines. Lo que quiere decir es que si tuviera que usar un magazine, Dios no lo quiera, en una situación y tienes, al ser tan populares, Demian tiene una Glock, Marco está a punto de comprarse una, yo tengo Glock.
Wait. Marco tiene una Glock.
Oh,
Está a
Marco
punto de comprarse una segunda.
Yeah.
Correcto. Marco tiene una. So, como pueden ver, nosotros tres tenemos Glock, aunque mi favorita es la Smith & Wesson, pero me interesa tener una Glock en caso de que estemos entrenando, se me perdió un magazine, se me dañó, la munición es la misma, los magazines, siempre y cuando el calibre sea igual, los magazines, si usamos la misma munición, van a servir en mi arma y esa es una de las razones por las cuales recomendamos Glock. Por otro lado, esta sí es una Glock real, pero les voy a mostrar también está sin magazine, por razones de seguridad, por supuesto, como pueden ver. Pero tiene una versatilidad porque tiene tantas cosas que tú le puedes agregar a un Glock, como este caso, que tú puedes usar, lo puedes convertir en una pistola, pero que es detachable, y lo puedes llevar en un bolso pequeñito, pero te da más precisión a la hora de que tú vayas a utilizarla. A ver si la pueden ver mejor así. Tiene una cantidad de aditamentos que permiten. Por otro lado, también es otro Glock real. Aunque no es marca Glock, todos los componentes. Entonces usted puede crear su propia Glock con el gatillo que quiera, con el slide compensado. Puede ponerle también como pueden ver, a la derecha si quiere ponerle un silenciador más adelante. Obviamente ya van a preguntar, ¿para qué queremos silenciador? Para divertirnos. ¿No quieres hacer tanto ruido? pues obviamente necesitan un permiso adicional para tener un silenciador. I was talking about that you can use the Glock in different ways, and there are so many manufacturers that does Glock accessory that you can build your own Glock with different accessories, brands, and models. So you can
Right.
your Glock.
Yeah, we can build you a Glock. That's the thing.
Yeah, we can also build your Glock.
We can build you a Glock. So, but yeah, Glock is the household name in guns. Why? Because it is used by so many law enforcement agencies in the U.S. till, you know, people want to get what works. They want to use what pros use, and Glock is what the pros use a lot of times. And with that being said, you got a lot of different agencies that switch from other carriers and switch to Glock. So Glock is the household name. You can get all kind of accessories, all kind of things for Glock.
Yeah, it's
Very
like
easy.
it's the most common and popular handgun.
Exactly.
Is the price is affordable and it's very reliable. So that's the reason why Glock makes a name. Once
And
again, I love all the kind of guns too, but due that all my partners and everybody has a Glock, I switched like 2 years ago and start collecting Glocks too. So yeah, but it's amazing. It's a very beautiful design, simple, easy to maintain. And in this case, I just want to also talk about this device that attach it to the glove. This is a training device.
I was going to ask you what that is, Tony.
You don't know what it is yet, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, what do you have?
Okay, so I'm
I
gonna
want
do
to see what's
a demo.
coming. Give us a
I'm gonna do a demo.
give us a demonstration. I want to see it.
Yes, it, it's already connected to my iPad. You can connect it to your phone. It calibrates once you put the gun in a steady place. It calibrates by itself, and then you have different drills. Master, can you open the other? The other. We got this demo. Hold on, let me use calibrate this. I'm gonna need to use my safety glasses and also to read. Marco, can you send a message to Tom, to the master? Estamos, mientras que hacemos eso, yo voy a conectar un segundo. Vamos a tratar de entrar nuevamente con el video. Y esperemos un segundo. Lo bueno de hacer esto es que el entrenamiento lo puedes hacer con, lo puedes hacer con munición real, lo puedes hacer con munición de salva y lo puedes hacer con pistola de entrenamiento de CO2. Esta magazine está cargada con aire comprimido. Vamos a hacer un tiro de prueba. Okay. Y ahora vamos a mostrarles en pantalla. Déjenme ver si se ve. No se ve completo. Como pueden ver, aquí tengo, voy a darle start. Y se me va a abrir. Yo voy a apuntar a un sitio. Puedes practicar diferentes cosas. Voy a hacer algunos tiros que voy a propósito mover el dedo del gatillo. ¿Ok? Y ahí, vamos a ver. Ahí, si usted abajo, eso indica que yo jalé el gatillo hacia abajo y hubo una pequeña variación en mi tiro. Si yo pongo el dedo un poco más adentro de lo que debo, van a ver lo que ocurre. Ahora, mi gatillo disparé hacia arriba. Si agarro el dedo muy corto, van a ver que ahora jalé la pistola hacia un lado. Igualmente si hago al contrario. Bajé y te va a decir si hace un tiro bueno o no. Ahora vamos a tratar de hacer uno bueno. Y esto te va a decir, te va diciendo también cuál es el error que estás cometiendo. Por ejemplo, no sé si podemos ver ahí. ¿Lo puedes leer, Marco? Oh, Damien, can you read what it said?
At the bottom, it says slapping trigger.
Right. So it tells you so how to, what is the problem and how to correct it. Give you all the different and give you the score. Okay. Give you the different way because by milliseconds, every time that you move the gun, it's going to be calculated before you shoot. You can also do drop. You can see the result. This is a very good tool. Let me stop it. And then let's go to the other screen. It gives you the history and the effectiveness of the shooting. Esto te da la historia, te dice cómo estás, qué error estás cometiendo. Cuando tú estás disparando, obviamente tú tienes diferentes fundamentos. Pararte, el side pictures, la respiración, cómo vas a disparar con el gatillo, how you're going to do the trigger thing. So everything is going to be recorded, and you can do that with the CO2.
That's cool.
So once we combine this tool with hold on, let me take this one out. Once you combine this one, oh, I'm sorry, doesn't.
Yeah, I was wondering how you was gonna make that fit. I thought you got a holster.
Right. We have a holster for this, but the thing is, remember the virtual screen?
Yeah.
Okay, the virtual screen, we have some semi-real scenarios where somebody's gonna go against you. Then you can draw, shoot, and you're gonna see the effectiveness in on the screen, but also you're gonna record your speed. You're gonna record the mistake that you made with the trigger. So it's another. Yeah.
Sorry, te corto un ratito por la hora que estamos casi. Y quiero pasarte una pregunta de Facebook. Están preguntando ¿por qué la necesidad o recomendación de usar un arma considerando que no eres empresario o manejas grandes cantidades de dinero ni sientes tu vida amenazada?
Bueno, la amenaza siempre está afuera. No necesitamos tener un arma, pero no es necesario que tengas que manejes una cantidad de dinero grande para ver todos los días en la televisión. Si usted prende la televisión, usted va a ver que hoy un caso y no necesariamente ha sido una gran suma de dinero que han robado, no ha sido un empresario. Casi siempre el empresario va a estar armado y por esa razón usted ve que casi no los roban, o cuando los roban es algo que ellos posiblemente se han podido proteger. Pero las mayores víctimas son las víctimas fáciles. ¿Y qué es una víctima fácil? Alguien que está distraído, alguien que el perpetrador, el malo, se da cuenta que usted no tiene manera de defenderse y va a buscar siempre la presa fácil. La razón, le invito, no sé desde dónde me está escribiendo, pero la mayoría son, puede ser un asalto. El caso del muchacho del UPS. Estaba trabajando, se metieron en el carro, se lo llevaron con carro. En nuestro país usted ve que constantemente, y no solamente en nuestro país, aquí, le toman el carro, le roban el carro y se lo pueden llevar. A su hijo, defender a su hijo, defender a su hija, defender a su pareja. Entran en su casa en la noche, no es para quitarle $1 millón ni grandes cantidades, es sencillamente porque son vandalismo y muchos de ellos, la mayoría de los criminales, están armados. Entonces, el tener un arma es sencillamente poder equilibrar la fuerza. Y eso es lo que nosotros hacemos, aprender a defenderte. No decimos que para todos los escenarios tú vas a necesitar un arma. Y ojalá nunca tengas que usarla. Pero nunca está de más saber utilizarla, tenerla y poder proteger a los tuyos, a ustedes y a su familia. Eso es lo que nosotros creemos y lo que enseñamos de forma responsable para que pues sean unos personas que cuando estén armadas conozcan la ley, conozcan dónde, por qué, cuándo y las consecuencias de utilizar un arma. No estoy diciéndole que un arma la va a utilizar para todo. Obviamente es parte del entrenamiento que nosotros damos, donde usted puede identificar el momento que usted va a necesitarla. Espero que nunca la necesite, espero que nunca la utilice. Pero si me está viendo aquí en los Estados Unidos, prenda el televisor en la mañana durante 3 días seguidos y usted verá que no es solamente los grandes empresarios, no es a los comerciantes, ni es a una persona que siempre la hayan amenazado. Casi siempre son presas fáciles.
Tony, sorry, te corto. Reida, si no respondimos bien a tu pregunta, déjame saber. Te respondemos en el siguiente programa. Tony, sorry que agarro tu tiempo para despedir el programa, agradeciendo a todos los que nos vieron por Facebook. Acuérdense, regístrense en el canal para que tengan la oportunidad de entrar a una rifa para que puedan ganar una clase del Concealed Weapon Permit aquí en Estados Unidos.
Y a las personas, pedirles que nos escriban a info@therDAshow.com. Le vamos a dar una copia de la Constitución, se la vamos a enviar por correo para que la tengan. Muchas veces hablamos de la Constitución, pero muy pocas personas la tienen a la mano. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you, Damian. We have to go.
Yeah, the time flew by. Time flew by today.
Yeah, unbelievable. But thank you for watching us. Gracias por vernos. Les esperamos el próximo miércoles a las 8 de la noche. Y muchas gracias a Pangea FM, CTU Security, CTU Federal Academy. Good night.
Good night. Stay responsible, everyone.